ahead and draw your squiggly line underneath number 7. And we're going to add 5 words today. So Mason, you'll have 5 words tonight. Okay? You should have your squiggly line and today's date, January 20th, 2021, and we're starting with number 8. Number 8 is the word galactic. Galactic. G-A-L-A-C-T-I-C. Galactic. And galactic, I think it's used as an adjective. Yes, it is used as an adjective. So it's a describing word. Describes a noun, a thing. Galactic, G-A-L-A-C-T-I-C. It is an adjective, and it means that something is in the same group of stars as Earth. And notice how Earth is capitalized. Why is Earth capitalized? Carla?
Because Earth is a place and a planet.
Okay. Well, but playground is a place, but it's not capitalized. Why is Earth a place that is capitalized? Cullen?
Because it's a proper noun.
It's a proper noun. Why is Earth a proper noun? It is a proper noun. We always capitalize proper nouns, but why is Earth a proper noun and not a common noun? Zadie?
Because it's naming a specific place.
The specific place, the specific planet. As we read, you will hear it in context. These are just extra words that we will come across that you may need to know. Number 9 is the word Python. P-Y-T-H-O-N. Python. P-Y-T-H-O-N. And it is another noun. Or, well, not another noun, because our first one wasn't. But it's a thing. An animal, specifically. All animals are nouns. And it is a snake that wraps around its prey, P-R-E-Y, not P-R-A-Y, to crush it. Okay, Victoria and Cullen, go ahead and go. Walk together. Just leave everything where it is and push your chairs in. Yes, quick. So a python is a noun, and it's a snake that wraps around its prey to crush it. Number 10 is the word anaconda. Close the door behind you. A-N-A-C-O-N-D-A. Anaconda. It is another noun. It's another type of animal. Animal names are always nouns. And an anaconda is another type of snake that crushes its prey. So an anaconda, A-N-A-C-O-N-D-A, is another noun because it's another type of snake that crushes its prey. With this next word, you may start to see a pattern. Because number 11 is the word asp. A-S-P. Asp. A-S-P. Well, it's another noun because it is a small, poisonous snake. So we have a pattern here. Asp. A-S-P. It's another noun because it's another type of animal, and it is a small, poisonous snake. Really quickly, let's look at the word poisonous. Is this a compound word? Is this two small words put together into one large word? Zari, we're looking at the word poisonous.
No.
No. But I do see one smaller word. I don't see two smaller words, but I do see one smaller word. What is the smaller word that we see in the word poisonous? Kingston. Poison. Poison. But we have these extra letters, O-U-S. That's not a word. So it's like what we talked about yesterday. Poison is a base word. So if we know what the base word poison means, but we're not sure what this big word poisonous means, that can help us to figure out. The suffix O-U-S is added to a noun to make it an adjective. So just like L-E-S-S is added to a verb to turn it into an adjective, O-U-S is added to a noun to turn it into an adjective. We know what poison is, right? It's stuff that's toxic, stuff that can hurt you, stuff that you shouldn't eat or touch or whatever. O-U-S, we know, makes it into an adjective, saying that something has that. Yes, Mason.
Is poison the color green?
Not always, but usually we think of it as the color green, probably because movies and TV shows use green to show that something is like poisonous or toxic. But it's not always green, it just depends. A lot of times, like snake venom, which is poisonous, is actually clear or like milky colored. But poison is the base word. We know poison means a thing that is bad, a thing that can hurt you, a substance that can hurt you. O-U-S is a suffix that turns that noun into an adjective, meaning that something has poison. So we know poison is a bad substance that can hurt you. Poisonous means that that noun that follows can be described as poisonous, so it has poison. So poisonous tells us that this noun, snake, has poison. Okay, so if you see a word that ends in O-U-S and has a base word, a smaller word before, but you're not sure what it means, but you know what that smaller word is, all you think is, okay, O-U-S just turns that into an adjective, meaning the noun has that. I'm trying to think of other ones. Like harmless, harm meant to injure or hurt. Putting L-E-S-S at the end turned it into an adjective that meant it can't do that. That noun cannot harm. So it's kind of the opposite. O-U-S means the noun has it. L-E-S-S means the noun can't do it. Yes, quickly.
If you took out the O, it would be a compound word, but it'd be spelled wrong.
Yes. If we took out the O, it would be, but it wouldn't be a word. It would be a compound word, but it would be a compound fake word. If we took out the O, because then it would be poison and us. But if you put those together, that's not a word. Okay. Last word. I'm going to erase number 8. You will really see a pattern with this last word because number 12 is the word cobra. C-O-B-R-A. Cobra. C-O-B-R-A. And we have the definition. A cobra is a poisonous snake. Yes, quickly. Huh? 5. I said 5. Yes, Mason. Oh, I did. Sorry, it's a noun. It's a noun. Cobra is a noun because it's an animal. Animals are always nouns. And it is a poisonous snake. So what's the difference between an asp and a cobra? Zadie?
An asp is a small poisonous snake, and a cobra is a poisonous.
Yes, so this word small shows the difference. Asps are very small. Cobras are larger. They're not massive like anacondas or pythons, but they are bigger than asps. If you've ever heard of Cleopatra from ancient Egypt, they say that she was killed by an asp. So where do you think asps live if Cleopatra got killed by an asp? Mason?
In Egypt.
In Egypt. Very good. Okay. So go ahead and finish those words. We see that word poisonous again, which we know is the base word poison, which is a noun for a bad substance. But if we add OUS, that's the suffix, to the end, it turns it into an adjective, a describing word, meaning that whatever that noun it describes has that base word. I'm trying to think of another word that has OUS. If I wasn't trying to think of one, I could think of like 500, but I can't right now. Maybe I will later. Okay. So we've talked about inferences, making inferences a whole lot this year. Like that's a big theme of reading, science, and social studies this school year. But yesterday we specifically talked about making inferences with what? We specifically talked about making inferences with what? Ethan? We made an inference about what? Not about snakes. It had to do with, like, we had a story about snakes, but we didn't make an inference about snakes. Yesterday, when we read that story, Name That Reptile, we made an inference. I filled one of these out. What was our inference about? Zari?
Mark's mom was scared of snakes.
Okay. But today, so just join us where we are, okay? You can get the vocab. You can watch the video tonight to get the vocab. We're just starting this, okay? So quickly just put your math to the side and then get out your reading textbook. Okay. Well, yes, we made an inference about how Mark's mom felt about snakes. But we're not going to be making an inference about how Mark's mom feels about snakes today because we're reading a whole different story. But we are going to make an inference about something similar to what we did yesterday. We talked about how we can make inferences to see how characters what? How they do what? Smith?
About how they feel.
About how they feel. So a lot of times when we read a story, that story won't tell us exactly how a character feels about something. But it's really easy to tell how they feel by looking at all their actions. So we use their actions, we use our prior knowledge, how would I feel if this happened, and we put them together to make an inference about this character's feelings. So as we read today and tomorrow, we're going to be picking out a certain character, a main character, of course, and then we are going to make an inference about how they feel about something. So let's go ahead and begin. Tell us the genre of this story. Smith. Loud and slow. So everybody ready to follow along with their fingers? And go ahead.
Genre. Humorous fiction is a made-up story written to make the reader laugh.
Good. So we know fiction is made up. Nonfiction is the one that's real, facts, whatever. Fiction is made up. Ooh, let's look at that word, humorous. We see that suffix, O-U-S. What is the base word here? What is the base word, Zadie?
Humor.
Humor. That's a noun, like the base word poison in poisonous. What is humor? What is humor? Mason.
Something funny.
Something funny. If something has humor, it is funny. So humor and poison are both nouns with the suffix O-U-S. The suffix O-U-S turns that noun into what part of speech? We just talked about this. The suffix O-U-S turns that noun, the base word, into a different part of speech. What is that part of speech that it turns that word into? So we know it starts as a noun, the base word is a noun, but O-U-S turns it into an adjective, a describing word. So that means whatever comes after, does this suffix tell us it's an adjective, it's a noun that has this or that doesn't have this? Does this O-U-S kind of make it the opposite, like L-E-S-S? Or does it mean that the noun that comes next has this base word? Ethan? It has it. So we knew a poisonous snake means a snake that has poison. Humorous fiction means fiction, a story that's made up, that has humor. Okay, so remember, O-U-S is a suffix that turns a noun into an adjective, meaning the thing it's describing has that noun. So a snake has poison. This fiction here has humor. Okay, Smith, what are we going to find out as we read this story?
What do you learn when you read between the lines?
Now that doesn't literally mean we're going to read between the lines. But reading between the lines is an idiom that means, what is the author not saying? The author's saying some things, but there's something that they're not saying that we can infer based on what they do say. So it's basically telling us right here, we're going to make an inference. The author's not going to tell us, but we're going to make an inference about something. We know we're working on inferences with characters' feelings, so we know we're going to be figuring out how someone feels about something that they're not saying. Okay, Smith, go ahead and read to us the title, the author, and the illustrator, and the first paragraph.
Dear Mr. Winston, by Ken Roberts, illustrated by Nicole E. Wong. Dear Mr. Winston, my parents said that I have to write and apologize. Dad says he is going to read this letter before it's sent, and that I'd better make sure my apology sounds truly genuine. So, I am truly, genuinely sorry for bringing that snake into the library yesterday.
Okay. Ooh, this is written as a letter. I love stories that are written as letters, because then we really get to see into the character's mind. So far, we know there's this character. I can't remember if it tells us, but until the end, so I'll just tell you. Her name is Kara. I know we find out at the end or later, but I'll go ahead and tell you. This character, Kara, she's the main character, the narrator, is writing letters to Mr. Winston. Why is she, we already know, why is she writing this letter to Mr. Winston? What is the purpose of her letter? Mason?
Because she brought a snake into the library.
So why is she writing this letter? She brought a snake into the library. Why is she writing this letter now?
To apologize.
To apologize. To who?
To Mr. Winston.
To Mr. Winston. Okay? Well, now we know why we're reading this. Thank you, Smith. Read next. Ethan. Loud and slow so we can follow along. And loud so we can all hear. especially because the girls at home are going to have to watch this video. So we have to make sure that we're real loud so they can hear in order to follow along. So like you're yelling, Ethan.
My parents.
Louder.
My parents say.
Ooh, they're not going to be able to hear.
My parents say what I did was wrong, even though the cardboard box was shut. Most of the time, there was no way that snake could have escaped. If you had it open the box and drop it on the floor.
What is she doing? What is she doing by saying what she just said? Zari?
Pretty much blaming him for having the snake bite him.
She seems to be blaming Mr. Winston for the snake coming out. She's supposed to be writing a truly genuine letter. What does that mean? A genuine apology. What is a genuine apology? Michaela? A real apology. And she's starting out by what it seems like blaming Mr. Winston. Do you think this apology is genuine right now? No. Because if you are genuinely sorry for something, are you going to blame somebody else for it? No. Because you're basically saying, whose fault is it if you're blaming somebody else? Zadie.
If you're blaming somebody else, it's their fault.
You're saying it's their fault. Can you actually be sorry for something that's not your fault? Can you be sorry for something that's not your fault? Like in real life, if somebody trips, can you actually be sorry for that happening? You may feel bad that it happened, but can you be sorry for doing it when you didn't do it? No. Let's keep reading. Turn the page. If you're real quiet, I'm going to stop you after one paragraph. Colin's not in here. Oh, Aaron, I can put you back. Because we've got to make sure that the girls at home can hear this when they read later. Mason, loud, loud, loud. If you want to get picked again. If you don't want to get picked again, please don't use that as an excuse to not be loud, because that's not fair.
My parents say it's my fault for having brought that snake into the library.
A little louder. You're getting real quiet towards the end.
And I truly, genuinely apologize, but I still don't know how I'm supposed to find out what kind of snake I had inside the box without
Louder.
throwing the snake right into the library. So I could look at snake picture and then look at the snake and try to find a picture that matched the snake.
How many sentences did we have in that paragraph? How many sentences did we have in that paragraph? Mason, since you just read it?
One long
One long one. So she's not really stopping to take breaks. And think about when you talk and talk and talk and never take breaks. It's because you know you might be in trouble, right? And you're just trying to get every excuse out of your mouth before that person can start getting mad at you even more. So I wonder if that's what Kara is doing. She also keeps repeating the words, I truly genuinely apologize. Over and over and over again. That sounds a little fishy too. Let's keep reading, okay? Let's see, these are long sentences, so make sure that even though they're long sentences, make sure you're still pausing to take breaths, because otherwise your voice, the volume goes down and you get faster. So even though there's no periods, just take quick pauses every once in a while, even if you have to be like, and then keep going. That's okay. Aaron, read next, loud so the girls at home can hear this when they're reading along.
I told my parents something that I didn't get a chance to remind you about before the ambulance took you away. I did come to the library without the snake. First, I left the box outside, hid it under a bush, and tried to borrow a thick green book with lots of snake pictures. You told me that the big green book would confirm what they.
Who can help her out? Kingston? She can't hear you.
You told me that the big green book was a reference book, which meant it had to stay inside the library, and I couldn't take it out, even for 10 minutes.
What's she doing to Mr. Winston again? Smith?
Blaming him.
Blaming him. So let's think. This is the first thing that says why she brought this snake inside the library. Why did she just say that she brought the snake inside the library? Why did she just bring the snake inside? Why did she just say was the reason that she brought the snake into the library? Zari.
Because he said.
Who said? Tell me the name.
Because he said you can't bring the library book out of the library for even 10 minutes.
Who said that?
Mr. Winston.
So, she says that not being allowed to check out the book made her bring the snake inside. So she's blaming Mr. Winston for bringing the snake inside. So at this point, does she think that bringing the snake inside the library was her fault? At this point, does she think that bringing the snake inside the library was her fault? Zadie?
No.
No. How do you know?
Because she said that what she's been saying is kind of pointing towards that she's blaming him, like saying it's his fault.
How? Tell me 2 ways that she has blamed Mr. Winston so far. Tell me the first way she blamed Mr. Winston. We haven't gotten to that part of the story yet, but she said. Zari, what was the first way she blamed Mr. Winston?
She was like, first she was like, if you didn't, it was shut most of the time, but if you hadn't opened the box and dropped it on the floor, it wouldn't have escaped.
So she blamed him for letting the snake out by opening the box that she brought into the library. Now, she's blaming him for what? Smith?
She's blaming him for bringing the snake inside.
She's blaming him for bringing the snake inside. And if you blame other people, do you think it's your fault? No. That probably gives me a clue as to how Kara, our main character, feels about all this. We might already know how she feels all about all this. But let's make sure that the evidence supports that inference. Kingston, please read next. Loud and slow. Read the next. Oh, you're not ready. Come on, Kingston. It's been the same. Well, are you just not going to get ready now? Zari, please read next.
Do you want me to go ahead and start?
Yes.
Did the flowers arrive?
Oh, we're not there yet. I don't even know where you are.
I had to
Zari. I don't know where you are. Because that's not even on this page. That's not even on this page. Either of these pages. So I'm going to give it to somebody who knows where we are, who's paying attention. Winston, loud and slow.
My parents said
Oh, that's not where we are either. Aaron, loud and slow.
My parents said
Nope. Kingston literally just read that and I said that's not where we are. Me, finally. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Kingston, you were correct. Aaron, you were correct. But Zari, you still weren't correct. I don't know where you were because that's not on this page. So Kingston, go ahead. Sorry, Aaron and Kingston. You were right. Loud and slow.
My parents say I still shouldn't have brought that snake into the library, and that I have to be truly, genuinely sorry if I ever hope to watch Galactic Patrol on television. My parents picked Galactic Patrol because it's my favorite show, although I'm not sure what not watching a television program has to do with bringing the snake into the library. The people at the library.
Remember, pause between paragraphs. She's just not seeing the seriousness of this at all, is she? She's like, I should still get to watch my TV show. Galactic Patrol has nothing to do with bringing a snake into the library. I don't get it at all. Let's keep going. Go ahead. Keep going loud and slow. Girls at home, can you hear him decently?
That's why I didn't know where we were, because everyone's just slowly talking and we can't hear.
Okay, well, but I am stopping everybody at each paragraph. So that means you should be able to follow along. It's not because of that, Zari. It's because you turned the page too soon. Louder, please. The next paragraph.
The people at the library say you hate snakes so much that you won't even touch a book with a picture of snakes on the cover. And that is why you won't be at the library for a few more weeks. If you want, you can watch Galactic Patrol. It's on at 4 p.m. weekdays on Channel 7. There are no snakes on the show because it takes place in space.
Okay, let's think about that paragraph. First of all, according to the girl, the people at the library said Mr. Winston hates snakes. Think about everything that's happened so far. Do you think that Mr. Winston just hates snakes? Does he just hate them? Think about everything that we know has happened so far. Look at this picture. Ethan, what do you hate? What animal do you think is gross and you never want to be near in your life? A skunk. If you came across a skunk, would you end up having to go to the hospital? No. So if you just hate something and you encounter it, are you going to end up in the hospital? You just really don't like something. Like, I don't like roaches. If a roach runs across my foot, I'm going to be disgusted, I'm going to be upset, but I'm not going to end up in the hospital. But Mr. Winston ends up getting taken away by an ambulance. So does he just hate snakes? Is it just that he hates snakes, Zadie?
No.
No. He is very afraid of snakes, to the point where if he sees a snake, it seems like he can't even function. He has to be brought to the hospital to make sure that he's okay. Let's keep reading. Oh, let's also look at this page. We know this story is supposed to be funny. What did we read on this page, page 255, that tells us this story is supposed to be funny? Give me an example of something that happens on page 255, or actually in the story so far, that shows it's meant to be funny. Just think of something that was funny to you. Zari.
If you want, you could watch Galactic Patrol It's on 4 p.m. weekdays on Channel 7.
Why is that funny? Sorry. Why do you think that's funny?
Because it's like nothing to do with the story, and I think she's just trying to get out of the trouble and everything. Like, she just doesn't want to be in this. She wants to watch the show, so she's telling him to watch it.
Very good. If you had just sent someone to the hospital, would you be thinking of like shows that they could watch in the hospital? Like, oh, you should try this. Probably not. Okay, somebody else. Who knows of something else funny? Aaron. Loudly.
Mr. Winston,
Loud.
He hates snakes so much that he won't even touch a book with a picture of snakes.
Why is that funny? Aaron said the people at the library say you hate snakes so much that you won't even touch a book with a picture of snakes on the cover. Why is that funny, Aaron?
Because it's not even a real snake and why would you be afraid of a picture?
Because she's like, it's not a real snake. Why would you be afraid of a picture? That's funny. Okay, anything else? Kingston.
It's something Aaron said, but I like it really different from the different out. It's kind of Aaron said.
Okay.
A different explanation.
Okay, what's your explanation? Kingston said he thinks the same thing as what Aaron thought was funny, but he just has a different reason for why he thinks it's funny. Okay? What is that reason? What's that reason?
It's a bit funny, but
Okay, well, what is your explanation? I think it's funny too, but what's your explanation that's different from Aaron's?
I'm a bit scared of snakes.
Because you're a little bit scared of snakes? I can't hear you.
Because he's scared of snakes.
Okay. How does that tell you that it's funny? You gotta be thinking about your thinking. Zadie, what did you think was funny?
I thought what was funny is I have to be truly, genuinely sorry if I ever hope to watch Galactic Patrol on television again.
Why is that funny? So Zadie, if you couldn't hear, you guys have to make sure you're really loud even when you're answering questions. And make sure your hand is not covering your face at all. Zadie, so Zadie said she thinks it's funny that the girl wrote, I have to be truly, genuinely sorry if I ever hope to watch Galactic Patrol on television again. Why did you think that was funny, Zadie? Loud so they can hear. Make sure your hand is not between you and the camera.
Because it's funny because it's just like she's writing this just because she wants to watch her television.
Ah, so she thinks it's funny that because you can kind of tell the only reason she's writing this letter is because she wants to watch the TV show. Not for the reason she's supposed to be writing the letter. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. Read next. Please read loudly. Aaron, very loud. Turn your body so that you're facing this direction. Like, please yell, because it's really not fair to the girls at home that they're not getting to hear it.
did the flowers arrive?
Loud. Stay loud. Don't be scared that you're being too loud. You can't be too loud. I can tell some of you, your first word is really loud, and then you just back off. You're like, oh, too loud. That's not a thing. Unless you are screaming as if we were in a horror movie, you are not being too loud.
Dad picked them out, but I have to pay for them with my allowance for the next 2 months.
Stay loud.
The flowers are proof that I am truly, genuinely sorry for having brought the snake into the library.
Stay loud.
I hope the people who work at the library find that snake soon. Did they look under all the chairs?
We have a new development. What is the new development in this story? Not only has she brought a snake into the library, but what's the new development that we found out by what Aaron read? Michaela. The snake got lost. So where is the snake? Michaela? Still in the library. And we also see a certain phrase again that maybe doesn't mean what the letter writer is saying. What is that phrase that we're seeing repeated again that maybe shows she doesn't necessarily mean what she's saying? Carla.
I am truly, genuinely sorry.
I am truly, genuinely sorry. Think about if you accidentally hit somebody on the playground. What do you say over and over and over again to that person so that they won't go tell on you? Not necessarily because you mean it, but because they're on their way to go tell on you, and you're like, oh no, I bet I'm going to get in trouble. Mason? Sorry. You're like, I'm sorry. Don't go tell on me. I'm sorry. Are you necessarily saying that because you're sorry? Why are you most likely saying, I'm sorry, over and over and over again? Smith?
Because you don't want to get in trouble.
You don't want to get in trouble. You don't want them to tell on you. This seems like it might be a theme. Do you see how we made inferences? I said, why would you say that over and over again? That'll tell us maybe why she's saying it over and over again. Okay, Aaron, keep going. Super loud. Stay loud. You start out really loud, so make sure you stay that way the whole sentence.
That snake isn't dangerous. It is a local snake, and there are no poisonous snakes in
Manitoba, place in Canada. Stay loud.
The people at the library say you know that too, because that was one of the reasons you
Stay
decided
loud.
to
You're getting quiet.
I bought that snake from a friend. I paid 1 month's allowance for it, which means that snake has cost me a total of 3 months' allowance, and I only owned it for 1 hour.
But I thought she said she only paid 1 month's allowance for it. Why is she saying that the snake is costing her 3 months' allowance when she only paid her friend 1 month? Why is it costing her 3 months of allowance when she only paid her friend 1 month? The answer's not here. Zadie?
Because the problems that the snake caused has cost her money.
Well, what specifically cost her money? Other than the 1 month's allowance for the snake, what else cost her money?
Having to buy the flowers.
Having to buy the flowers. Because how much did she spend on the flowers, Zadie?
She had to pay 2 months allowance.
So she paid 2 months' allowance for the flowers, 1 month's allowance for the snake. There's 3 months. For a snake, she had 1 hour. She sent someone to the hospital. Why is she so worried about money she spent? Let's keep reading. Smith, loud and slow.
Mom says I don't have to tell who sold me that snake, so I won't tell you either because Dad says he is going to read this letter. Besides, I don't want you to be mad at anyone else when I am the one who brought that snake into the library yesterday. I am truly, genuinely sorry.
There's that phrase again. Okay, so there's something else that happens on this page that can help us make an inference about how Kara is feeling. What is the main thing she's talking about on this page? What is the main thing that she is saying on this page? Smith.
She's mainly talking about how much she spent on the snake.
And how is she feeling about all this? About the money she spent. What is that feeling that she has about spending that money for this snake and then losing it? Zadie?
She probably feels like it's unfair.
Well, there's a specific feeling, a feeling name. Feeling like something is unfair is not the name of the feeling. We're thinking feeling names like happy, sad, excited. What is a word like that? Smith.
Angry?
Angry. There's a really good word for how you would feel if you spent a bunch of money on something and then you didn't even get to keep it. Zari?
Frustrated and probably sad.
Frustrated. What is it called when you feel a little frustrated and angry at the same time? Feel kind of frustrated and angry at the same time. Kingston? Stressed, but there's something else. There's a better word. Smith?
Upset.
Upset, but that would be sad and angry at the same time. Frustrated, it starts with an A. If you have younger siblings, you probably feel this a lot because they frustrate you and they make you angry.
Annoyed.
Annoyed. What is she annoyed about, Kingston? She's annoyed at losing her money. She's not annoyed that she sent someone to the hospital. She's not upset she sent someone to the hospital. She's just annoyed that she lost her money. What is she saying about the way Mr. Winston is reacting to this? What is she saying through all this about how Mr. Winston has reacted? Zari?
She's acting like he overreacted.
She's implying, which means she's not, is she saying the words, you overreacted, Zari? No.
No.
But the thing she's saying is implying. That means you're saying something without saying the words. That's what it means when you imply. So she's implying that Mr. Winston overreacted. So again, is she truly, genuinely sorry yet? Probably not. She's blaming Mr. Winston for bringing the snake in the library. She's annoyed that she lost her money, and she's implying that he overreacted. Let's keep that in mind for tomorrow, because we're going to be able to answer the story at the end. Is the girl truly, genuinely sorry for bringing the snake into the library? So far, show me what you think the answer to that question is. Show me. You think she is sorry? Why do you think she is sorry? Okay. Okay. Why do you think she's not genuinely sorry? Kingston, tell me one reason. She's been blaming Mr. Winston for everything. What's another reason you think she's not truly, genuinely sorry? Aaron?
Because if she was truly sorry, she wouldn't be saying these things about his friends.
So she's saying she's implying he's overreacting. Okay? What's another reason you think she's not truly, genuinely sorry? Smith?
She's telling herself that she didn't do any of this. That she didn't cause anything.
Good. We can read between the lines to see that she's telling herself, it's not your fault. You didn't cause any of this. Does it say, I don't think it's my fault. I didn't cause any of this. No, but we're reading between the lines. We're reading what the author is not saying. Okay, Zadie, one more reason why you think she's not truly, genuinely sorry.
It's because in her letter, she's saying that she's complaining about how much money she spent.
So she's annoyed and complaining about what she's lost instead of actually feeling sorry that Mr. Winston is now in the hospital. Okay, so we'll finish this story tomorrow. Go ahead and leave your guided practice in your book as a bookmark. Make sure that you have written everything we have on the board. Then close your book. Go ahead and put it away.